Okay, guys, I'm here to do my high school DD episode 20 review. So, in this, well, let me backtrack. At the ending of last week's episode, we see that Vali reveals himself to Issei without his balance breaker, of course. And so, in this week's episode, we get the events following that. So, Vali comes. He introduces himself as the host of Albion, the Vanishing Dragon, and it doesn't seem that he's here to fight. It seems like he's just here to greet Issei. So they just have a conversation, and Kiba and Zenobia jump in with their swords, Holy Demonic Sword and Durandal. And Vali just points out the obvious. He's saying, you guys couldn't even defeat Kokabille, so what makes you guys think that you could possibly defeat me? With that, Kiba and Zenobia, they back off. They come over to Issei's side. And Vali brings up something. He says, where do you rank yourself among the world's powers? And that has Issei thinking, because we all know that Issei is weak. And that Vali is on a completely different level than Issei. Matter of fact, Vali can use his balance breaker without paying a toll, without the taboo effect. Issei, if he tried to go balance breaker right now, he'd probably have to give up his other arm or his leg or his eye or something. So with that, Rias and Akena show up. So the whole group is here now. And Vali just pretty much states that he's not trying to fight. He's just here to greet Issei, and Vali leaves. Rias holds Issei's hand and she's sweating like she's nervous, and I would be too, because Rias couldn't defeat Kokabille either, and Vali took him out easily. So to have someone with so much power standing before you, you would get at least a little bit nervous. So with that, we go to the open house scene, and this open house scene was very funny. We get oh my goodness, we get Zenobia coming in with condoms and shit. She even gives a condom to Asha, and she's pretty much blurting out in front of the entire class. She's like, Issei, when are we going to have babies and shit? So, and before that, Issei, it looks like he's in the nurse's room because since his arm was hurting him a lot when he encountered Vali. I guess he was just resting there, and he has to talk with Drake, and we get the story of the White Dragon Emperor and the Red Dragon Emperor, and how they pretty much became souls in the sacred gear. And so in Drake's story, he says that two foolish dragons were fighting, and Drake reveals that he doesn't really know why. And this story is obviously about him and Albion. So he doesn't even remember why they fought in the first place. And this all happened between the last war of the three great factions. The angels, the fallen angels, and the demons. So while this three-way war was going out, him and Albion just fought out of the blue for no reason. Well, there was a reason, but they don't remember themselves. And so this battle between Drake and Albion was so devastating that the three great factions held a truce just so they could stop them from fighting. With that, Drake and Albion became furious and upset, and they just tried to go at them. But they were defeated, chopped into pieces, and their souls were sealed into the sacred gears. And their hosts have been human, according to Drake, that is. So with that, Issei comes back, open house, and once again we see Issei's pervertedness. They have a bunch of clay held out in front of them, and his English, he just said, whatever comes to your mind, just mold it. And he's thinking about Rias, and he just, in like a few seconds, he molds a sculpture of Rias. And I mean, it's a nice sculpture too. He remembered her He remembered her figure completely, and just was able to replicate that into a clay model. Everybody's surprised. They're wanting it. They're offering 7,000 yen, 6,000 yen, all of that. So with that, we see the first appearance of, well, not the first appearance, like the second appearance of one of the great overlords. And the name of one of those great overlords is Seraphal Leviathan, who is also revealed to be Sona Citri's older sister. And when I first read this in a light novel, I wouldn't have thought that she would be the older sister. Even now when I'm watching the anime, I still didn't think that she was the older sister. Because of one, how old she looked. Two, because of how she acted. And three, because of her outfit. I mean, did you see that? She was wearing a magical girl outfit. She's acting like a little child. And you wouldn't really think she's that powerful, but she happens to be a great overlord of the demon world. So it goes to show that you can't judge a book by its cover. And the main reason why Sona didn't call Seraphal during the Kokubyo incident was because she would have went crazy. Leviathan would have went crazy, and she probably would have even declared war against the fallen angels for her little sister. So it shows that they have a good bond. But it seems that Sona doesn't really know how to handle Leviathan at times. And it goes to show that when she runs out of the gymnasium crying, and that's something we never seen from Sona before. She's always the cool-headed, calm person. But in this situation with her sister, she runs out of the gymnasium crying. So it's just such a funny moment. So after the open house, we go back to Issei's place, and it seems that his parents have already met Rias's brother and Rias's father. And Rias's father, again, so young. I would expect for him to at least look a little older, but no, that's not the case. So with that, they're looking at the tapes. Rias is getting really embarrassed, and she just runs off to her room. Issei goes after her. He brings her to his room, and they just start having a little conversation. Rias is saying, Issei, are you happy you met me? Because I'm happy that I met you. Issei, he's caught off guard, and he says, oh yes, it's an honor, blah blah blah. And then he ends that off with but. And he has a little internal monologue, and he's saying the thought of you, he's saying that just the thought of her having a boyfriend one day is something that he really cannot handle. And he's just having that internal monologue, and it said with that, Rias, she just goes in out of nowhere and kisses him. And I don't want to sound like a little bitch, but I was having a fanboy moment. I don't know why, but I'm a big shipper of Rias and Issei. But then again, this is a harem, so I pretty much ship Issei with all of the girls. But I'm a big fan of Rias and Issei. So seeing that, I was just having a fanboy moment until Asha comes and cock blocks again. So anyway, big reveal at the end of this episode. We get to see Gasper next episode. And a lot of people have been kind of iffy on Gasper. I'm just going to put this out there right now that Gasper is a boy. I'm pretty much just going to say that right now, because I'm tired of people saying that Gasper is a girl. Even though he does look like a girl, he's not. He likes to cross-dress. And I know for a lot of you fans, that's going to be something that you really can't handle, especially the guys. I don't really know what to say to y'all, but Gasper is a boy. Get used to it. Matter of fact, if you don't even believe me, you'll find out next episode. So with that, we get this. we get to see Jasper next episode. That's one of the things I've been waiting for also, and I'm also waiting to see that the summit meeting. I thought it would have happened this episode, but I forgot that we still had to do the open house thing this episode. So maybe within the next 2 episodes we get to see the summit meeting. But then again, the season is also wrapping up, so we may not see that until next season, probably. So that pretty much wraps up my episode review, guys. I'll catch y'all later.